My Bambu A1 Mini is way overdue for some maintenance. I originally bought this in December of 2024, 16 months and 600 print hours ago, and I haven't done a single thing to it. I need to change that because I didn't know that it'll remind you to do things like lubricate the rails. Bambu does have a nice wiki on what to do, so we're going to follow that official wiki and see if we can find any assumptions we can help resolve. Before we actually start, you'll have to remove any filament that's already loaded. Remember, you can easily do this in the filament menu and select unload. While this is at the bottom of Bambu's list, I always start by washing my build plates with some dish soap and water, then rinse, dry, and reinstall so we can home the axes to continue lubricating the rails. So every month, it's recommended you lubricate the guide rails. Bambu recommends you use tweezers to remove large bits of gunk, but I just jammed a shop vac in there and so far so good. Move each axis to one of its extremes, then apply some oil I have linked below in the description onto each of these rails. Then move each axis to the other end and repeat. The movement of each axis will spread out the oil, so don't worry about it being perfectly even. I personally like to home the axes, and while the X and Y axis is super easy to move manually, you'll want the printer to raise and lower it on the Z axis. Before you move on, use that same lube on the Z-axis screw hidden away in the post. Even though it's only recommended every 3 months, you're here anyway. My lube nozzle can barely reach that screw, but it did, so make sure yours can actually get in there too. Before we move on to belt tensioning, if your printer's out of commission and orders are piling up, head over to PCBWay. You can upload your STL files, choose quantity, color, material, infill, and even something like threaded inserts. Production begins real quick and delivery soon after. If you're more interested in custom PCBs or CNC machining, those are just a few of the many different products PCBWay can offer you. Use my link in the description below to save $5 off your first order. When prompted, you'll have to retension the X-axis belt on the print head and the Y-axis belt that moves the print bed. There is a spring that automatically tensions the belts, but you'll have to loosen a screw or two to let that spring do its work. On the X-axis, it's simply behind the print head, where you just loosen this screw on screen, move the print head around, then retighten it, and that's it. The Y-axis screw is only slightly more involved since you have to remove a fancy cosmetic cover that has 2 screws holding it in. Once removed, unscrew the bottom of the 2 exposed screws, move the print bed around, and retighten it. Often overlooked every 3 months is our little idler pulley. Until now, I've hesitated putting lube on a belt, as you should too, but Bambu insists it happens here. So luckily, the belts are ribbed instead of using friction. Using the same lube we use to put on the rails, you're going to put it a little dab on each side of the pulley and move things around. That's it. We'll deviate a bit, and I know I have some plastic bits in my Purge wiper that need removed and taken apart. You should be making sure yours operates smoothly too, and if not, it's pretty easy to remove. Finally, let's have a look inside this print head and a few things we should check in there, like our nozzle and cutter. It isn't obvious how to remove the front cover, but you'll peel it up and away from below and it'll pop right off. The silicone sock on the nozzle is technically a consumable, so replace this if yours is looking pretty bad. Once that sock is off, you can open the gate holding the nozzle in and pull it away. These nozzles are so much easier than the P1S I used to have. The other big reason you may be in here is if your cutter is going dull. There is a screw that needs removed, and you can pull the whole arm out. The cutter is sort of friction fit in there, so I use some pliers to yank it out and replace it. There are 2 fans on the print head we need to make sure are clean, and while you can remove it, like in the instructions, you could also just honestly blow air into it. Make sure you hold the fan in place, as you don't want to spin it and generate a voltage. I don't know what the risk is for that here, but you definitely don't do this on a computer, so I'm not doing it here. Finally, some other miscellaneous items would be like the replacement of the nozzle wiper. Both have 2 screws holding each piece in and super easy to replace. Now that we're up on our maintenance, hopefully when we run another print, these spinners won't keep failing. And our latest works perfectly. Don't underestimate how much neglect can impact your print quality.